Attention listeners, mark your calendars for Colorado Gives Day on December 10th. Support Aftersight and give to the causes you care about. Go to coloradogivesday.org/organizations/aftersight between now and December 10th to make your donation.
I was attacked by a mountain lion, and it was the first one to happen in Rocky Mountain National Park. And it never got on me, but it attacked me about 4 or 5 times.
You're listening to The Blind Chick, an Aftersight original podcast. We're telling you stories about strength, overcoming hurdles, and living experiences. We see who you really are. Blindness can be an adventure. Are you ready for the journey of a lifetime? We are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Blind Chick. That's Moses Street.
And that's Penn Street. Boom, chaka, 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 boom, chaka, chaka. The Blind Chick.
Oh, dear. That never gets old.
Yeah, or it does get old immediately.
It does, actually. Moses and I, we've shared on the podcast many times that we love hiking. And several weeks ago, we were hiking a beautiful trail during the fall colors. And we came across this really neat couple. They were visiting from New Hampshire. And we just connected, and we stopped on the trail, and Moses and I got to chat with them for a while, and then we hiked much further than they did. So when we got back actually to the trailhead, they were sitting there in their car waiting for us to come back and even make a deeper connection. And I gave them my business card, and they reached out, and we've just have this really neat friendship. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, and that leads to the absolute best segue you have ever seen in any media platform. Is we were up there on that hike to celebrate the 29th year that I survived a mountain lion attack. And so, of course, running into somebody, I had to fill them in on the mountain lion attack. And so it was a 7-hour ordeal. I cannot believe that I lived through it. And my story's out there all over the place, and it's in a book called Favorite Stories from the Tail Spinner Lounge as an anthology. So it's just a short story in the book, but it just happens that our guest today, Matt Hendrick, he's had a bunch of near-death experiences, and has turned into became a really, really good artist. His work is amazing. And he's got a book, The Uncommon Vision, Embracing the Unseen. So here we are, Matt.
Welcome to The Blind Chick.
Yeah, welcome to The Blind Chick.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Aurora, outside of Denver, just a little bit.
Oh, here in Colorado. Oh, wonderful. Yeah. It's actually rare for us to interview people from Colorado, so it's fun because
nice.
we have that strong connection. And I do feel doing the research with you for this interview, I do feel like that kind of bizarre connection happened just doing the interview. And you and I met very, very briefly at the Shine Festival. Shout out to Sean. You're a published author, and that's fairly new to you, but your art is like Moses said, it's just really phenomenal. And can you share a little bit about your story and how those pieces sort of came into your life?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I was in a car accident in 1991 when I was 21. So in like 17 days from now, I'll be entering my 34th year of being a C5-6 quadriplegic.
Wow.
So yeah, that happened. And I picked up painting, and I do a little bit with my hand because I can move my shoulder around and my bicep, and I do a little bit of abstract type stuff. And use my hand. It's real easy to get abstract. It's not real accurate. And then I'll paint with my mouth too, with a brush in my mouth to get my more detailed stuff. And I kind of figured out how to do this. It's been about, it might be coming up on 10 years now.
Wow.
That I've been doing it. And, it's cool. It's something that can take your mind away from your problems and kind of focus you into the present moment. It's kind of a meditation type thing.
Were you into art before the accident, or was this sort of avenue came to you later after the accident?
Well, I always liked to draw and stuff like that. I was very into photography and working in the darkroom, back in the 80s before all the digital stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got writing a book is really, really hard. I have been trying to work on one for, the last 50 years. And, what was your process for writing it?
Well, writing a book is a lot harder than you would think,
Yeah.
Getting everything together, and you really, really have to be consistent and get in there and work on it every day. That's what I found. And this is actually my third one. I have two other ones that are under a pen name, Irie Parker.
Oh.
But that's a fun story to tell. The first book actually took me 11 years to finish.
Wow.
And that was just me typing. That was before I used voice recognition software. And I would just type with the back of my knuckle. And,
oh, my goodness.
I would give up and go back to it. And it's very easy to give up.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
But from start to finish, that was about 11 years. And then the second one took about 7 years. Because I was using voice recognition at that point, so it kind of made it a little bit faster. But this latest one, it's a memoir, kind of autobiography, and about my my accident and my near-death experiences, and some of the abilities that I feel came after as I was able to connect the dots. But the cool way I did this book was I used ChatGPT to and I had it read my other books and try to learn how my writing style was. And then we'd call that Matt's style. And then I have a rough draft and an outline for this memoir. And I would just plug it in and say, use my voice and vocabulary and write this chapter. And it's about this. And it was amazing. Just watching ChatGPT read your book, it reads it in under like a minute.
Wow.
And it knows all the stuff. And that's how I did. That was my process for this one. So this one took, I started it in January. So I'm already 10 months. It's just 10 months so far. And I already did the audiobook, and, there's a Kindle and a paperback and stuff.
When is the audiobook?
Wow.
When is the audiobook going to come out, and where will it be coming out?
It should be out by the time this podcast comes out.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, right.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got it going pretty quick.
That's
we
are on. Okay, so stay tuned, everybody out there, because we are obviously we are on the button with breaking news from artists.
Nice.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
Yeah, and I would love for you, don't give anything away because we do want people to purchase the book, but can you talk a little bit about, and you don't have to go into great detail because I know you've done that many times in other media platforms, but I would kind of like to hear how you feel and maybe why the near-death experiences affected you mentally, physically, spiritually.
It's very gray area for sure. But I've noticed these kind of like, I notice a lot of patterns. I see a lot of synchronicities. I notice, I think just being able to notice these things comes from the near-death experience. And it's very hard to put your finger on. Did you notice any like psychic kind of abilities that came after your near-death experience?
Well, we did live in a haunted house, so that didn't have much to do with my deal, and it was a really fun, active ghost. But it was that night. It's pitch black. I can't even see my hands, and this was a mountain lion attack. In case somebody's just tuning in, and I'm up at the top of a tree. And pitch black, I'm freezing, can't see my hand in front of my face because there's no street lights out in the middle of the forest. And I look down, and there's my dad sitting on a rock at the bottom of the tree. And I thought, holy cow, I am going to die tonight. And there's my dad to take me home. Wow. Yeah, and he stayed there. It took Penn many hours of hard work to get somebody to come out and search for me. And Dad stayed down there till the guys showed up, the park rangers, rescuers. I've always felt the psychic thing, so that part wasn't new.
Do you think it was enhanced afterwards? I mean, with your photography, Moses, I feel like you've always been really strongly in tune with people's behavior, or
right,
whatever you want to call it. But I do feel like that sharpened after the attack. I mean, I personally felt you had changed a lot.
Yeah, I guess I just don't. Well, it's little things like Penn and I, like when Penn's out working, I always know when she's about 10 minutes from the house. Little things like that. Yeah. And how would you put it?
And even car accidents like this, I think, wasn't it yesterday?
Oh,
yeah,
just
it was yesterday. Yeah.
I saw a car accident before it happened that we would have been involved in. Yeah. And I just stopped. Yeah. I just stopped the car right then and there. And the van did exactly what I had just seen. So,
I get that kind of stuff too. And then I'll actually prevent it. I'll go a different way. If I have a dream, I'm like, okay, that was that intersection by my house. I'm not going to take a left-hand turn there for a while. That kind of stuff. But for me, like the near-death experience, okay, so we know what a dream is like. For me, my dreams are sort of blurry. They jump around. They go forwards, backwards. There's surreal, unbelievable things happening. I know that's a dream. But when I had like the near-death experience, the past life regressions, a lot of the dreams that seem to be precog, premonition type stuff, they're very real. Like the physics are real. They don't jump around. You feel, for me, I feel like I'm in another life, another realm, another thing where, okay, this is like a reality. It's not a dream.
Right.
So maybe that.
Same here. It's still hard for me. I'll have to stop and think about it because when you get a premonition, it's different than like you're daydreaming. But sometimes if it's something that's going to happen in a day or two, you're sitting there going, Is this just my stinking thinking kicking in, or was this actually a premonition? And I'll often write them down, and they always come true. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you too, because I've never met anybody that this was true with. So I'm always searching. Is when I was 9, I flatlined, and listening to your story on the videos, I had a very similar with the white light and everything. But one of the things that happened to me pretty much immediately, even when I was on the other side, is I met this. I call her an angel. I don't know if that's technically what it is. I even know her name, everything about her, and she is, she's solid, right? She's not, I can't see through her. She is a solid person, and this being, I call her my angel, has been in my life ever since. Like, it's like almost like she came over to this side with me. And every single near-death experience I've ever had since then, and there's been several, she appears solid to me, to the point where one of the times Moses was actually there, and I flatlined again, and Moses, of course, was freaking out. He called 911. He was doing everything that they told him to do, get me on a flat surface, that kind of thing. And he was, going, and I verbally said, Moses, it's okay, because Casey, her name's Casey. Casey is here. And of course, when I say that, Moses gets really worried, because he knows that I'm open to whatever's going to happen next. Like, I'm not fighting for my life. I'm just like, if this is where it's meant for me to not come back this time, I'm fine. And I really am fine with that. But I've never, I have met other people that have had near-death experience and had similar, like with the light, and there were people there welcoming them, and or like when I was 9, my grandmother was there. And what's interesting is she had not passed away at that time, but she was very, very sick. She had stage 4 esophagus cancer, but she was still around and very vibrant. But she was there in the white tunnel with the light. But she told, she was not ready for me to keep going into the light. She was the reason I turned around. But she wasn't gone yet. But she did pass away within 6 months after that. But I've never met anybody where they've sort of brought, I don't even know if that's the right terminology, but brought somebody back with them. But your story is just, it was so touching and familiar to me last night when we were doing the research. And even with Moses, we both have pretty much talked nonstop about it since we.
Interesting. So you've seen her since then, or like in your dreams? Or?
She's in my dreams. If I'm really ill, she definitely comes. And then also, I have a very, very strong connection with water, with the ocean. And the more water, the better, like the ocean in particular. I feel very strong. I can even have a conversation with her, back and forth conversation with her, if I'm near, a huge body of water.
Well, that's wild. So is it sort of like a telepathic conversation?
Yes.
Or
I don't need to say anything out loud. It's
you just kind of know the answer.
Yeah.
I get a lot of that myself. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And, lots actually. But I have to kind of focus on it. It doesn't happen every time, but I can focus on a question, and I'll get the weirdest answers that I'm like, that's definitely not me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that, I'm like, I would have never thought that, this message comes clear. I'm like, oh, geez, really?
do you feel that you, because I find that if I go through periods of my life where things are pretty smooth, which doesn't happen often, but it has happened, where like my health was good and just everybody around me was healthy and vibrant, I feel that I'm not as connected with that energy. Whereas if I consciously put energy into it, I get it back like tenfold. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that does. I agree. I have the same thing. I'll have a couple months go by and I'm like, where are all my spirits and guides and whatever this stuff is, Nothing's happening. There's no weird noises in my house. There's no, it feels like everything's gone. I'm like, is it something I'm doing or, but I look back and I'm like, well, I'm not really, I'm busy. I'm not really trying. Maybe we can all connect into these things. And since we're so busy all the time and occupied with thinking about what we need to do or analyzing the past, maybe we're unable to really grab onto that thing in the present it's like a guide.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've heard that before, but people call it that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because it's the same for me. If I just friggin' stop and sit down and it takes that to bring like what we're talking about around. And I've even noticed that I'm breaking away. I'm still putting stuff out on social media, but I'm cutting way back on my phone time. And that, how would you put it? It's like I can't think of the word. It's allowing my brain to function so much better.
Interesting.
Yeah, and along the lines that you're talking about. So, but this is one where life, well, to me, life doesn't imitate art, but the life we have creates the art. And for me, I've always been obsessed about the past and basically probably the Civil War forward through the 1930s. And so my photography has, how would you put it? Like I can do a picture that, and you got to finish it right, but you'd swear the picture was done in 1900. So the past has tremendously dictated my work, the style that I shoot in, the career that I had. It was all influenced by that 180 years of photography.
And the way he dresses. He does not even dress in this.
Yeah, I still dress 1910.
But that's where he's
have
comfortable.
A fedora on right now.
Yeah.
That's where he's comfortable,
Yeah.
Have you ever had a past life regression at all? Or maybe that would pop up to where you had some big, significant life back in those days.
Oh, that would be interesting.
No, I can't. No.
It is bizarre, though, because Moses comes from a family line of photographers. So he has like glass plates that his relatives did, forever ago. And
back in the 1890s.
And there's several of them that he has taken and digitized so he could get a print from them.
Oh, wow.
It looks like him in the photographs. Like even if there's even a couple of them where there's this little boy in a boat and we blew it up to this huge print that we have in our living room because it's a beautiful photo. Everybody thinks that was Moses. I mean, it looks exactly like Moses when he was a little boy. And so I actually, that would be kind of interesting for you, Moses, to dive more into that, because the similarities are...
That would be.
And it doesn't look like, oh, yeah, you're definitely related. It looks like Moses. Like, it's...
Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening to part 1 with Matt Hendrick. It was a really cool show, and you're going to want to tune in next week, because Penn and Moses go even deeper into some of the stories and life experiences that Matt has to offer. I wanted to mention also Colorado Gives Day coming up on December 10th. Get your dollars in. There's a couple of weeks left, and we really, really appreciate those who have already donated. And if you like this content, and if you like any of our other shows, whether it be Blind Sight, this show, The Blind Chick, we have Navigating Life with Vision Loss, and our tech show, Blind Level Tech, those dollars go to help fund these shows, and we couldn't do it without you guys. So as a gift for our year-end giving, it's tax write-off, it's tax deductible, and we'd love to have those dollars and to have your support in any way, shape, and form. All right, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything that you hear, or you have questions about the show, you just have a question for Matt, we'd love to get that to him. Call us 720-712-8856, or you can email us at feedback@aftersight.org. All right, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. It's good for your soul.